It's the worst hour of the week with Bryan Vokey and Ramsey Badawi.
Dude, my pancreas is hurting.
Yes, it's probably...
Nah, I can't be. Have we started recording it?
Yeah, we're rolling.
We haven't fixed my voice.
That's the voice you were born with.
No, we got these new mics. They're really, really good, but for some reason I all of a sudden sound super weird.
It's just how you sound. This is an authentic replication of your voice.
Are you sure?
You as a baby, your first words.
Mama. Mama. I don't believe that's true. I think that we could do a little bit of EQing with my voice.
What was your first word?
I don't know what my first... You know your first word?
Yeah, it was mama.
Was it really? Nah, there's no way.
But it was to my babysitter.
If I said mama before baba, my dad would have beat the shit out of me.
Yeah, for sure.
Immediately taken me out. Baba. I went, Baba, I will never disappoint you.
More rose water, Baba.
Everybody calls her dad Baba. It's a normal thing.
Yeah, everybody does it. There's at least 1 billion people on the planet who do that.
Yeah, dude, this is, at least 1 billion, maybe 2 billion.
Who knows? Nobody knows.
If things start going according to plan in China.
Mm-hmm. Oh, is China taking on Baba?
We're working on
making a deal,
making China completely Muslim by 2035.
Really? Because it feels like they're doing the exact opposite. But what do I know?
I didn't say we were succeeding.
You're just working on it. Oh, you're like, it's like a Trump. We're looking at it.
Do you know how like all the Democrats are like, we're going to be completely emissions free by 2035? Mm-hmm. I'm actually working on a make the entire world Muslim by 2035 plan. Is it going well? No, it's a little bit rough right now, and obviously there's some stories in the news that might support that. We'll talk about it later in the show. Preview. I don't know who I was talking to for a second.
What camera's on me right now? I know there's only one camera, but where is it?
we have one camera, but 4 eyes.
All my secret sex cams are also filming us, so I have GoPros hidden all over this room.
You know what, man? I need you to be completely clear that was a joke right now. In 2020, I will not make any risks. I want everybody to know that Bryan does not videotape. First and foremost, no way is anybody having sex in the studio. Our insurance would never clear it. We have a pretty conservative insurance program.
The reason why I'm having sex in the studio is in case there's a pregnancy, then the baby, the welfare child support payments go through the LLC and not me.
It goes to the LLC.
It's the company's baby.
Well, you can actually.
It's not mine.
The thing is you could totally write it off. It happens in the baby. You go, you tell your taxes. You go, I actually had a kid this year for business.
Yeah, in the studio at work.
So obviously,
clearly, I was working.
You're like showing the paper. So therefore, you guys owe me $250,000 so I could take care of the kids. Of course,
a month.
That's
always like Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife's divorce settlement, where it's like, I need $250,000 for food and utilities.
I think Arnold Schwarzenegger's wife was also a Kennedy to start off with.
Marie Shriver? Yeah, she's a Kennedy.
So she didn't even need the money. That was just to hurt him. It's not like you're broke as a Kennedy.
No, there's no such thing as a broke Kennedy.
There's broken Kennedys.
Jamie Kennedy might be broke.
He's not related to the Kennedy.
No, his original name is JFK the Third.
Stop it.
But the J is Jamie.
It's Jamie.
Yeah, Jamie F. Kennedy.
Wow. That's a
little known fact. Listen, I'm in Hollywood. These are the things you pick up.
You pick these things up.
Yeah. Tom Green's middle name is actually Blue.
Bryan cracked the code. He said, "Hold on, Kennedy. That reminds me of somebody I know."
Yeah,
you're not related to John F. Are you?
I'm like, dude, did your grandfather get shot in Dallas?
And honestly, it could have happened with Jamie Kennedy, but for completely different reasons.
It was an experiment.
Spenny's pulling it up right now like the fucking producer he is. Shout out to Spenny G here in studio.
Oh, Alibaba.com. Is Jamie Kennedy related to...
Well, that's the thing is, here at the Worst Hour Nation, we are extreme believers in the Alibaba network.
We don't use Amazon.
We're early adopters of Alibaba.com.
Also, is Jamie Kennedy related to John F. Kennedy? When you clicked on that, it said, ouch, it looks like this website's a little bit busy.
Yeah.
There was too many people wondering if Jamie Kennedy was related to John F. Kennedy that you can't even look at the page. It's frozen.
The Worst Hour Nation, here's the problem. And we do want to also say, obviously shout out to everybody who, is part of our Patreon, who helped us with this major studio upgrade. I mean, listen to this. We've got amazing microphones. We're spending double now. I mean,
really?
things are going great.
Are we still paying them in Pakistani money?
We are paying them in the Pakistani ruble, which is, by the way, not even adopted by the Pakistani government. It's a fringe
currency.
Even there, it's a fringe currency.
It is the rebels' currency.
So
we're paying you in rebel money.
So it's like today it's worth nothing. Tomorrow, who knows?
But hey, if they take over the country.
Yeah, it could absolutely happen. So I do want to say shout out to that. We are using in our system here at the Worst Hour Nation, in fear of our overtech or of our overlords in the tech industry, we've segued from using Google to startpage.com for our searches, for our web searches. The problem with that is it turns out Google was just better. All the programs that steal your data, they're just way better.
Hey, Start Page claims that these are the exact same results you would get from Google.
Yeah.
It just doesn't track you.
I say the same thing when I go down on my girlfriend. I go, if Orlando Bloom went down on you, it would be the same from your.
These are the same results.
I say it's the same result. You would probably be disappointed.
Orlando
with him
Bloom.
Too. I look off to me. I'm a broadcaster from the early 2000s. All my hot guy references.
They're all so old.
They're all 2003.
I'm pretty sure it's Orlando Wilted now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
hey, folks, how are you?
That's welcome to the show. I go,
welcome to the show.
To me, the hottest guys on the planet are Robert Pattinson. Mm-hmm. I love
Ben Affleck is super hot, right?
Ben Affleck just aged out for me. I think he's an old grandpa now. Joel McHale from The Soup.
Oh, yeah, he's a looker.
And I think The Man Show is the best TV show ever written. I'm from 2003, man.
Oh, Ben Affleck aged out in 03?
Yeah, man. I feel like Ben Affleck was like already done by 2003.
Wow, I'm old.
I don't know, man. Was he? Maybe I'm wrong.
Do you and your I don't want to say girlfriend because I don't want the listeners at home to think you're cooped up.
My podcast manager,
dude.
who also happens to be Hakeem.
Do you
never mention the spouse on the air? He said the ladies out in Broadcastville got to think you're on the market.
Yeah, they listen because they know you're available.
Yeah, one of the number one markets when it comes to AM podcasting, which is what we do here, is single women. It's usually the biggest demographic.
I mean, for us, for sure.
When it comes
the
to
majority, I don't know if we have a single guy listener.
We get the Nielsen.
It's all because they think you're available.
Yeah, we get the Nielsen ratings every month here. We get them delivered. It's so expensive to have yourself analyzed by the Nielsen broadcasting company or whatever. But they tell us most of the people who listen to the Worst Hour, 23-year-old chicks with huge cans.
Yeah, who are horny. Who have like a condition. They're like abnormally horny.
It's an unbelievable fact.
That condition, that's called the Vokey syndrome.
The Vokey syndrome?
Yeah, when a 23-year-old girl with huge cans is too horny.
Yeah,
that's called Vokey syndrome.
It's rare, it's scary, but
it's actually not as rare as you think.
I find it to be pretty
folks?
rare. Listen.
Well, what I was going to ask you is, do you and your girl, excuse me, do you and Hakeem have, do you have people that you're allowed to sleep with if you get the chance in Fantasyland?
No. To be completely honest with you, I'm trying to outlaw sex between us, between me and the old lady. I'm trying to say, can we maybe even, hey, would it be so bad if we just kind of had a Christian relationship here and never fucked until we got married? But also, I don't believe in marriage, so kind of a challenging concept.
Yeah.
It must be hard for Christian libertarians who are like, God damn it, dude.
Yeah. Do libertarians not believe in marriage?
No, but I guess they don't care. It's the state. Libertarians don't like the state part of
involved
marriage.
in anything. Keep the state out of my marriage.
This should be between me and God. This should be between me, my woman, and God. Okay, we don't need Uncle Sam in the mix.
Right.
This is me, my girl, Jesus Christ, his father. I don't know if Mary wants any involvement in this in the whole thing, but she can get in on it if she wants.
Did you find in your libertarian days that there were a lot of religious libertarians?
Most libertarians were religious. I found a lot of libertarians are like, listen, it's because God is the ultimate government.
Oh, gotcha.
Which is confusing because then you would be like, well, wouldn't you be against him too?
That's a little Sharia-y.
It's a little Sharia-y. It's why I popped out, man. I couldn't do it. I moved from being a libertarian to a classic liberal. Everybody knows that about me.
Classic liberal. Like HRC?
Like HRC, a classic liberal. Hey, this studio has gone through a significant upgrade. Not only have we gotten Spenny G in the mix, not only have we gotten these new mics, not only did we get a brand new HRC doll here. By the way, if you're not...
Action figure.
It's an action figure. If you're not seeing this
No,
image...
it's an inaction figure.
Because it's a Democrat. If you're not seeing what's going on right here, be sure to follow us. Go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/worst hour of the week. Actually, it's not that. We don't have enough followers to claim the name.
Yeah,
so
just Google YouTube worst hour pod.
No, I'm going to read out the link to everybody. youtube.com/W70331. That circle with a line through it.
Yep.
_ semicolon.
That AE
thing. Elon Musk's daughter's name.
Yep.
And you'll get to our page.
And then you will see that we've got a little bit of a festive decor going on here.
We've decided, why not change with the seasons?
I want to. I don't know. I was a little nervous you wouldn't be into it, but, I went to Target and I picked up a little bag of pumpkins.
It's part of my new me. As many of the listeners know, it was recently my birthday. I've grown a little bit since they've known me. And I'm decided that one of the things I'd like to embrace in my 31st year in life is I'd like to embrace change. And what better way to embrace change than to just adopt with the seasons, man? It's fall. Let's freaking embrace it, dude.
Yeah. Let's rise as we fall.
But I only want to change 4 times a year. That's my rule.
Yeah.
Any more than 4 times, I get 4. I have a card in my wallet, and every time I change, I mark it. And after 4, I stop changing. So, you guys have a very limited window if you'd like me to learn a new fact or...
That's a lot of changing for you.
Yeah, 4 times a year.
That's big.
I've increased my changes by almost 400%.
Hold on 1 second. Is that outside? Oh, okay.
Yeah,
This is a slow rumble outside. I want to make sure because I've been having some issues with the board every now and then going, whoop. But it's like very intermittent, but that's not it. It was outside. Just wanted to check.
This neighborhood has never been more Fast and the Furious like. We were hanging out outside of the studio pre the show.
Ramsey on his tiny skateboard.
I caught my thinking. I was doing a little thinking.
Yeah.
I can't think unless I'm on a tiny skateboard. So I go back and forth. I was thinking, and a helicopter zoomed by and flashed a light at us.
Right. I mean, like directly on us. I thought we were about to get strafed.
It was exciting.
Yeah.
I had a great time, but it was nonetheless scary. So if you hear any sounds, that's what's going on, folks.
Yeah, there's some kind of party going on outside that involves the cops and subwoofers.
Bryan, what? Now you started doing stand up again.
I'm back at stand up, baby. I did another gig.
I've decided I've retired from stand up.
Yeah, everybody was asking.
Until I get asked back, that is. I'm willing to come back out of retirement when you ask me, though.
I did this show in Hollywood, not to brag, okay? Hollyweird, excuse me.
Yeah.
And there was a live band. It was like, this isn't New York, dude. This is LA. It's not like, people don't do this shit here, where like there was a band. By the way, the band had more credits than the rest of us. They were like, the band bringing us up was just on Conan.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Which I don't even know what that means. I don't know if they zoomed into Conan.
Yeah.
I don't, that sounds crazy.
I also just don't, I cannot think personally of anything more boring to watch on TV than people just listen to the album. What Conan should do is Conan should be like, hey, I got this new band. Everybody should just go listen to them. Why would you want to fucking just watch somebody play? It just seems boring to me.
Well,
how low is your self-esteem?
I don't know how to answer that for you because I love that.
Okay.
But not, this band was fine. But they were bringing the bands up. But, dude, there's a lot to talk about with this show. But one thing, I was on stage. We're using that word loosely. But it's an outdoor show, and it's surrounded by apartment complexes. And they're blasting music. And then they have 9 comics who every single one of us had either a suicide, rape, or pedophilia joke.
Yeah.
Just blasting. I felt horrible after. But also, it was jam-packed. Not a single person was wearing a mask. Mm-hmm. Besides, there was, some of the comics
Where
were
was
wearing
the
masks.
show?
It was in Hollywood.
And nobody
In
was
Franklin
wearing a mask?
Village.
You would think that people would be dying to wear a mask in Hollywood. The amount of people have watching people pretend to put masks on in situations or that I'm seeing, it's like a fucking crazy because I work smack dab in the middle of Hollywood. I live in Hollywood all day long. I watch people parading. They've got masks over their mouths, over their eyes. Their fists are covered in masks. They're wearing a T-shirt made out of masks.
Yeah.
I would think there'd be so much more masking up going on just for show. I can't believe that there were no masks.
There was no mask. Not only that, after my set, this guy came up to me. He goes, I really liked your set. I want you to know that you're super funny, but I think less of you now that you're not wearing a mask. Now that I am wearing a mask.
That you were.
Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know when I developed this paranoia. But I walked in there, I was freaked out, dude. Like seeing everybody party with no, and also I felt like this is my first time out in public since I sprouted a gray patch, and I felt like an old ghoul.
I'm sorry, you don't know where everybody's fear and paranoia is coming from?
No, mine. I didn't know. I never had it.
Oh, you're saying it's a new feature. I'm like, do you not know everyone else is freaked out too?
No.
It's like, what the fuck's going on with everybody out there, man? Everyone's like wigged out. Over
I had
this
some
thing.
latency paranoia where all of a sudden I was freaking out.
Yeah.
But at that show, everybody I saw, it was so funny. There was one comedian. I forgot how fragile and just dumb and awful it is to hang out with comedians.
Yeah.
And this one, they're all like, what have you been up to? It's so good to see you. I'm in such a good headspace. I'm doing so good. This one comics just cornered me going, oh man, I worked on myself through the whole pandemic. I'm feeling great. I've really got my ducks in a row. I used to be strung out on Roxy squatting in Silver Lake, and now I'm really doing well. And then fast forward to the set and somebody speaks out, right? Like heckles. And he just immediately goes, fuck you, shut the fuck up, you fucking bitch, and all this shit. And he's just, 2 minutes ago, he was like, I'm in such a good headspace now.
Who are these people that can't take one person making a sound near them?
Everybody's drunk, we're outside, there's a live band, and you're still like, you're ruining my birthday party.
I can't stand these people who are like, hold on, hey. Like, I've never had an idea in my entire life where I'm like, everybody needs to just hear me.
Right. So everybody was so phony until like everybody was just really so glad to see you. And then I finally found a couple pocket of friends who were black dudes. And I walked up to them and they immediately, as soon as I walked up, they were like, bro, what, you got lingerie on your face? That's a nasty mask. They're like, you look like you're wearing half a bikini. They're like, what the hell happened to your hair? And I was like, thank God.
I will say this. Every black dude I know, all my friends, just got the coolest masks out of, I don't even know where
unreal.
I don't even know where they're getting access to this stuff.
My friend Dicey, she was on stage and she had a bedazzled, it looked like there were diamonds in a, like a really like geometric pattern.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous.
I don't know what's going on. I'll just say this. Wouldn't mind having one myself.
It was just so nice to be in the middle of Hollywood and be able to get out of the, like, what are you working on? How are you too? You look like shit. What the hell happened to you? That mask is horrific.
Do you wash your mask?
In the laundry, yeah. I iron them because they roll up like fucking joints.
I've never washed one of my masks. 6 or 7 months. I swear to God, I drop this thing on the floor. I walk on it all the time. I didn't even think about it till right now, but you're supposed to wash your masks?
You 100% are supposed to wash your mask. It's on your fucking face. I've been breaking out all pandemic season.
Well, that's where you and I are different. I grow a beard, so I don't have to wash the face. I don't know. Are you sure you're supposed to wash the mask every single week, or how does that exactly work?
Hey,
I like that I say every single week.
Should we get Fauci on the horn?
Let's get Fauci on the horn, man.
You could do a killer Fauci. If you just learned how to do a New York accent, you would sound like Fauci right out the gate.
I absolutely could never, because even if I could, the fact in my brain, as soon as I started to try to sound like Fauci, my brain would go, what do you even do? That's why
it's just your voice with a New York accent.
Whenever like I see Jim Carrey like impersonating, I'm so jealous. If I tried to impersonate somebody, the second I tried, my brain would go, shut the fuck up.
You don't have a single impression in your repertoire.
I have absolutely. I couldn't. I mean, give me somebody who you think I could do, and I'll try.
Okay. Spenny, you got any ideas for an impression he should try?
I don't even know. I don't even know the beginning of. Give me one.
An impression you should try?
Yeah.
A drunk Irish guy.
No. Okay.
How about Johnny Carson?
Give me a real person.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Johnny Carson?
Do you think our fans would know what Johnny Carson sounds like?
That's why I put you in a win-win.
All right. Here we go. Here we go. Johnny Carson, everybody.
Here's Johnny.
Good afternoon. Hold on. Let me try again. Give me somebody else.
Okay. Jay Leno.
Okay. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jay Leno.
Have you guys heard about this? You guys ever heard about this? Hey, yeah. That's not bad.
No.
I could do that. It's pretty
Okay,
easy. That's
Blink 182. Ladies and gentlemen, the musical stylings of Blink 182.
What if the second I tried to do Tom DeLonge, my voice went smooth and like silky and golden?
Just the microphone turned golden.
The one time having a raspy voice would be a beneficial thing, and I just didn't have it.
You strike me as the total package, triple threat, impersonator, singer, dancer.
I got really one personality down a little too well. And that's it, folks.
That's the neurotic Arab.
Spenny's pulled up HoustonMethodist.org. How should I wash my mask and how often?
Who's asking people this?
Well, some of us.
What do you mean, how do I wash a mask? How do you wash a shirt, dipshit?
I don't know, man. It's a little complicated. Some of us might have
What is
questions.
complicated about it?
Some of us who are listening to the podcast, including your own co-host, might have a couple of questions.
It's fabric. Why do we need to Google how to wash fabric?
I worry about the straps, perhaps. Maybe it's me. I worry about
Next
things.
thing you know, it shrinks. It's pulling my ears. I look like Will Smith. I need some ideas here.
All I'm saying is I've never washed the mask because I've never even thought about the possibility that you would need to. Well, hold on. Oh, wait, hold on. I forgot to mention, when I sneeze, I just flip the mask inside out.
Right, like underwear.
So it's
Like when I sneeze in my underwear.
so that like when Bryan wakes up every morning and there's just a pool every night, just a pool of sneeze in his underwear. Right, dripping right off the front.
Hey, if you're using a washing machine, don't be afraid to wash your mask with your regular laundry. With standard laundry detergent and the warmest water the cloth material of your mask can handle. Now, how do you know that? How do you talk to your mask and figure out what it can handle?
Everybody's mask is recycled from an old T-shirt from the Goodwill. Like,
Yep.
Everybody's mask, so nobody knows what the material should be washed like.
So you can wash it, you can hand soak it in bleach for 5 minutes and then rinse thoroughly.
If I hand soaked a rag in bleach, you would think I was about to kidnap you.
Yeah, or you were cleaning up the mess you made from a murder.
I don't want any guy to. If you're a guy and you know how to use bleach, on my watch list. I have a couple of guys who I'm putting on my watch list. Guys who know how to use bleach. You know who else I put on my watch list? Any guy who's naturally good with women. You know these guys in your life?
Yeah.
They understand
I
how
do.
women think, and they're great at talking to them. I'm like, what is wrong with you?
Yeah, I think they should be all killed. All of them.
You're either a heartbreaker or you're super close to your mom. Either one, bad news. The way I see it.
I think you're a heartbreaker, aren't you?
Has it been my superb ability to speak to women that has given you that that thought? No, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
we all know Ramsey's a little heartbreaker.
I'm actually putting the hearts back together. When the ladies come to me, I'm going, come over here. Back together. Off you go.
The heart mender.
Back together. Off you go. You know?
You're a soft man.
I'm a soft man indeed.
What are some of your observations?
Thanks for asking me that, man. Yeah, I do have a couple of...
Hey, Ramsey, I hear you have observations.
I did have an observation earlier today. Thinking about the vulnerability. I did have an observation. You ever notice something, Bryan? Or Spenny? Or any of the listeners out there? Have you guys ever noticed?
I'm listening.
What are your thoughts on putting the chip in? When you take the card, you got to do the tap or the chip, right?
I always put it
or
in.
the swipe. It's a little confusing.
It's sexual. You learn a lot about somebody's sexual preference.
By how they're pushing it in there,
yeah.
whether they're swiping.
They're tapping, swiping, or inserting.
Yeah, it's a good point. I find personally that in those moments I've never been more vulnerable because you ever accidentally do the wrong one? You go to swipe and they go, "Can you actually insert? Actually pull that out and can you tap it?" I think in that moment, if they told me to put the card up my asshole, I would. I wouldn't even think about it.
It's like, what am I playing Bop It or am I buying some damn mints?
Well, I'm just in a trance. I'm so vulnerable in those moments.
Yes,
if
I
I
know.
tried to tap and they were like, "Can you actually put that card up your asshole real quick?" I would go, "Oh,
No problem.
I wouldn't even."
And then
think.
it works.
It works.
How about, have you been to Trader Joe's since this shit started? It seems like you wouldn't go there.
Trader Joe's is a tough grocery store for me to shop at.
I would imagine.
Well, first and foremost, I don't know why. I'm the only person who has this problem. But whenever I walk up to the cash register, I never know what side to stand on.
How about the one opposite of the the lady.
But they're laid out in such an interesting way that I frequently have accent. They've been like, "Sir, you're on the other wrong side." I've done it multiple times.
Have you been there since the pandemic?
No.
They are making you stand. They have a duct taped box you have to stand in while they ring everything up.
Yeah.
And I constantly am like bringing my groceries up there, and they're like, "Sir, can you get back in the box?"
Yeah, like you just committed a penalty.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
Yeah. Well, Trader Joe's in general, I'll be honest with you, even though it's cheap, I'm still not sold on it.
I assumed Trader Joe's seems like it would just rub you the wrong way.
I would pay extra for worse quality food, truthfully. I don't like the attitude they have. I don't like the idea that they think health should be affordable to the masses. Mm-hmm. I'm a Whole Foods guy. I'm an aspiring Whole Foods guy. But for the time being, I'm at Food for Less. That's the truth of the fact.
Right. I liked Whole Foods before they sold out to that liberal Jeff Bezos. Do you remember how the original CEO was?
I never even heard of Whole Foods until they sold it to Amazon. And then I was like, I'm in. I love this.
The original CEO had a huge scandal because he said, "Our food is not for poor people."
Oh, that rules.
Yeah.
I remember that. That guy was like an old school. He was like
He's a huge Republican.
He was a huge Republican, old
Yeah.
CEO of Whole Foods. He fucking would like spit in people's faces during board meetings. He'd like duck hunt.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy ruled, man. And then Jeff Bezos came along and fucking,
teched him up.
No, we're not huge Jeff Bezos haters here. We hate Jeff Bezos like, God, we wish we were cool like him.
No, listen, you know what whose biggest rival is?
Who's that?
Elon.
Well, okay. If
And
you want to
we
have
know-
that conversation, this podcast, we favor all billionaires equally, but we will rank them amongst each other.
And Elon is got to be number one.
Elon is the number one billionaire.
According to Worst Hour
The Worst
Weekly.
Hour Nation, yeah. So,
According to Worst Hour Weekly, he tops the list every week. We rank, that's all we do. We have a magazine where we rank billionaires.
yeah.
And the list has stayed the same for 6 issues in a row.
It's kind of like Sports Illustrated, but for the opposite of jacking off.
Right.
Whatever the opposite of jacking off is. You would flip through a Sports Illustrated. Well, and by the way, Bryan,
Sports Illustrated, the 3-piece suit edition.
could you imagine me explaining to my son someday, like, when I was a kid, people would jerk off to women in these Sports Illustrated magazines.
Yeah. They would show their bikinis.
He'd be like, what are you talking about?
I got a lot of action out of the era when they were body painting the bathing suits on. Do you remember that era?
I think I'm maybe too young. Yeah, you're a little bit older than me, so
This was like last week.
That
I'm just beating off to Sports Illustrated last week.
rules.
This rules.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if there was a movement amongst men to get guys to start jerking off to Sports Illustrated again. To be like, it's actually an alpha move if you actually jerk off to
From paper. If you can do from a photo.
If you can come to a photo, actually,
It's a real man.
I'm not kidding. I give Rogan 2 years before he has the guy on who comes on and explains it.
The health benefits of
jerking off to a picture.
Well, it's better for the imagination. It's more full sensory.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't actually talk about this, Joe, but the blue light that is emitted from your phone when you jerk off late
Lowers
at
your
night,
sperm count.
Lowers your sperm count, makes it challenging to sleep. I actually advise I'm a doctor of neurology, and I advise all my patients to jerk off to paper, and I tell them to go back to the 90s if possible.
If Dr. Rhonda Patrick, ultimate babe of Worst Hour Nation, she's Miss Worst Hour America.
Yeah, absolutely.
If Dr. Rhonda Patrick told me to start jerking off to photography instead of videos, I'm right there, dude.
I'll tell you what.
With some vitamin D lotion.
I don't want to try to be too sort of impactful as a podcast because I know what it's like to be impactful, and I'm not ready for that.
We have a huge platform. We have a responsibility. To all the single chicks who listen.
But every once in a while, I want to put out a PSA from the Worst Hour Nation to the nation. And today's PSA is going to be every guy should jerk off to paper magazines.
Yeah, or your imagination.
Or your imagination.
That's next level.
Yeah. Jerking off to the spank bank is cool.
Yeah, that's cool, but it's also good for you.
It's good for you. It's good for the soul.
It increases your memory. It'll raise your SAT score. I know we have a lot of high school listeners.
Better sleep.
It's proven. People who jerk off from memory, their ACT score, they generally, most Ivy League.
Through the roof.
Yeah.
Now, granted, most of the people who listen to the show are hot young chicks, but there's one or two
they
guys
need to jerk off from memory, too.
They should jerk off
the memory of me.
Too. They should. We should, before we jump too far into the show, I do think we have we have a Sperm Bag main feed edition. We don't usually do the Sperm Bag.
They don't even, most of the main feeders don't even know what the fuck Sperm Bag means.
For those of you that don't know, the Sperm Bag is the bit formerly known as the Spam Bag, which was the bit formerly known as the Spam Box, which was the bit formerly known as the Mail Bag.
That's right.
So we sort of eventually evolved it into just the Sperm Bag. And you can write us every single week, worsthouroftheweek@gmail.com. And Brian and I, every single week, we rifle through the Sperm Bag and we look for,
We take the 10 best sperm letters.
and we then we
Type them up. We get them, and then we type them up and email them to ourselves, even though they're real letters.
Yeah,
because we support the post office.
we
Here.
do support the post office. So we go out, we mail them, we get them, we wipe the sperm off of them.
Any self-funded government organization we support.
And then we give it to Spenny and we make him type it up. Because what we're ultimately trying to do is stimulate the economy.
Let's be real. They email us, and then we have Spenny print them out, mail them to us. That's really what happens.
Spenny mails them out. He sends them to us. We make it, and it's really, look, again, stimulating the economy. That's all that really matters that we're doing here. And,
I stimulate the economy from memory.
and that's what you got to do. Stimulate from memory. Spenny, do me a favor, Spenny. Would you mind starting off with the Spam Bag here? Start from the top. Read all the way down here.
Like the first guy?
Yes, exactly.
No, why don't you start from the middle?
Start-
Go to the middle, and
That's
then
usually
go
where
one
I
up,
start,
and
that's
then
right.
one down, and then one up.
Yeah,
And then...
you don't need to reveal why we pay you minimum wage.
Yeah. Okay. Bong Joon Ripper says, I'm going to launch a rival app to shit. Airbnb.
Now, of course, this is a reference to our shit app, which we came up with on the Patreon episode. Shit, for the listeners who might not remember,
And it's not shite.
It's not shite.
It's not a
shit,
Scottish company.
SHYT. It's an app. It's a little bit like Lyft,
Lyft,
or Uber, but for when you have to take a shit
It's a toilet share app.
and you go and you can't use the bathroom anywhere because all the public bathrooms are closed due to Corona.
Right. If you want to listen to our launch party, it's on YouTube. The whole 10-minute launch party for the shit app is on Worst Hours YouTube channel.
So Bong Joon Ripper writes that he's going to compete. He's going to try to compete with us by launching Airbnb.
Why is it BMP? Why wouldn't it be BNP?
Well, it's generally a flawed app idea because it just allows people to pee somewhere else. What if you have to shit?
Oh, BM, bowel movement.
Oh, BM bowel movement. Oh, that might be a better app
Actually,
than
he's
ours.
pretty smart.
That's pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to launch a different company called Puber. And that's actually... so we're going to actually launch another app to try to kill all the apps. Puber.
Right.
Puber is like Uber, except they come and they will trim your pubes for you.
Oh,
On demand.
that's great.
Yeah, it's
Will they,
pretty good.
Will they put a perm in there?
You end up having just like these immigrant poor people coming through, and
You're in like one of those shoe shine thrones, and they're just like...
you're like, our intentions were so good. It's using why I like that this guy's not even he's like a barber.
I know that. Yeah, he's got the blue jug with combs in it.
He's doing the move where he's holding the fingers and he's cutting whatever's above the fingers. That doesn't. Whenever people do that move when they cut hair, I go, that can't be scientific.
That is not accurate at all.
You're doing I'm holding my hair with two fingers and I'm cutting the top of your head. It just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, but you know what's funny is that about 50% of the world's population's life would increase working for Puber.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Getting through, making sure everybody's, his situation is cleaned up down there.
Basically, what we're saying, Bong Joon Ripper, is we dare you to come at us. We will bury you.
We will crush you so hard you don't even understand.
You don't know who's backing us.
You have no idea who's backing us. We could be one of those apps that
Splash
Amazon
backing us.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe Amazon has already expressed a little bit of interest. Maybe that's why I'm not trashing Jeff Bezos on the air. Have you thought about that?
All right, what's up with Derek?
Derek says, if your dads were in an argument, 1, what would be the argument be about? And 2, who would be the first to get physical and why?
The argument would definitely be rooted in Islam, without a question.
And your dad would get physical before my dad.
Without a doubt, and I'll tell you why my dad would get physical. It would be rooted in Islam, right? First and foremost.
Drinking.
Your dad would have been confused. What would happen is Brian's dad would have a inappropriate question to ask my
Yes.
dad. He'd be like drinking. They'd be hanging out at the worst hour. I'm assuming here's where they're going to meet. We're going to be doing our first cruise ship show.
Yeah, my dad's sloshed on worst hour teenies.
Your dad sloshed on my dad showed up.
He's drinking virgin worst hour teenies.
I convinced my dad to show up because I told him we were going to blow up an aircraft carrier. So my dad will be there. He'll be dressed fully like a cat burglar. He's got a beanie on. He's like, this fucking sucks, dude.
This is just people having fun.
He's like, I'm 70 years old. I thought I was finally going to take one out.
Yeah.
So he's in there. He's at the bar, and he's taking advantage of the free drinks. Your dad's got questions about Islam. Notices that my dad has a beard with a light mustache. Mm-hmm. Obvious sign of an Islamist. Mm-hmm. So my dad, so they'll talk, and then my dad will get physical first. 'Cause I don't even think your dad will have any realization of that my dad's even capable of getting physical. My dad does not look like he can be physical. He's adorable. He's 5'5". Spenny, you remember what my dad looks like? Kind of Super Mario-esque, maybe.
I've never seen him.
I thought you've never seen my dad before.
I've seen him from behind, like driving by.
Whoa,
But that's it.
That's sexy.
Yeah.
My dad, Spenny G.
Yeah, I've only seen him from behind.
If my dad was a bottom, he would be a power bottom. Well, there's no question about that. So it would still, I wouldn't even take it as an insult of any kind.
So you're fine as long as he's
As the dominant
in charge.
one. Yeah, absolutely. That's all we have. That's all anybody cares about. Anyways, my dad looks like Super Mario. He's hilarious. He's adorable. He's 5'5", shrinking.
Yeah.
There's no way he would even suspect that my father would attack him.
My dad's 6 foot, 240 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wouldn't understand. Yeah.
immediately.
He would ask him like some stupid, like, how many wives do you have?
Yeah. And my dad would be like, 4, idiot. My dad would know, dude. My dad is, this is how I know he doesn't really talk the talk, or walk the walk, I should mean. He talks the talk, doesn't walk the walk, only got one wife.
Are you sure, though?
That's a fair point.
I bet you might find something out.
Could be. If you're,
Because don't you find out about aunts and uncles all the time?
if you're one of my potential moms, I'm assuming.
Oh, they're all your mothers?
Well, if you're my dad's wife, you're my mom. Yeah. just like the Quran says. If you are one of my moms and you're listening to the show,
One of my moms, Thursday night, 6 p.m. on NBC.
email the show, worsthouroftheweek@gmail.com. Right here is going to be a little thing that comes up that says worsthouroftheweek@gmail.com. Email the show, worsthouroftheweek@gmail.com. I want to know if you're related to me, and I don't know that.
Is your dad home all the time?
He is home all the time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's, but also at the same time, there was a couple of years back in the day where we wouldn't see him as much. So perhaps.
Perhaps you got a few more moms out there.
We'll see.
That's all his son wants is a few more moms.
All right, Matt. Let's see. Matt L says.
Will you click on this?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Matt L says, has Ramsey signed up for the caucus room yet? Before we go to caucusroom.com, can we preview to make sure? I mean, this seems like
Yeah, let's see.
this has
here.
lemonparty.org written all over
I
it.
know. We're about to Freedom's Neighborhood. Oh, no, this is you.
Oh, okay, so thank you very much for sending us this site.
Caucus Room is a social network for conservatives like you to engage and discuss ideas and opinions so you can have better conversations about politics and the government.
Conservatives, first of all, this looks like a Target commercial.
It really does.
I would never believe that this was a social media website. It's just older white people waving at each other, talking with their hands.
Yeah,
dogs.
What is this?
This is just-
you're not on this?
This seems like a website I would not only be on, but I would be the number one influencer on.
Yeah, you'd have a blue check on there.
You would think I would
be a red check.
Yeah, exactly.
It would
You
be
would
a
think
red
I would
check.
have a dark red check on caucusroom.com. I'd be the number one influencer. Never heard of it before.
How big is it?
We'll find out.
Can you does it join a platform for verified conservatives?
Benny, do me a favor. As we roll through the show later today, maybe not immediately, but can you start can you create a caucus room
For Worst
profile
Hour?
for Worst Hour of the
Yeah,
Week?
we should. We should try to get big on Caucus Room.
And so if you guys are
I
out
thought
there,
this was going to be like Caucasus Mountains, like an Armenian thing.
No. Or possibly like Chechnyans. Aren't they also part of the Caucasus Mountain tribe? We'll talk about that in a second. Create us a caucus room, not right now, but later, a caucus room profile will get us going. If you're listening to the show, follow us on caucusroom.com. Thanks for the tip, Matt L.
Where did you meet your wife? I met her on caucusroom.com.
Dude, me too. I've been trying to get my wife on caucusroom.com for years.
Okay. Here we go. Here's I'll read this one.
Okay.
Or do you want Spenny? Do you want to read this one?
You read it.
All right, because I know we can't say her name.
That's actually a good point. So we should.
So I don't know if her name's in here, but I'll know.
She who will not be named.
Now, this is a follow-up letter from a certain person whose name we will not be saying, but she's been working in an office that has been basically not believing in the COVID hoax.
Yeah, she's basically been working in what we like to call a scientifically accurate office.
Exactly. Yeah. She works for the CDC.
Yeah, well, we say at the Worst Hour Nation is she works for the correct side of history.
Hello again, boys. I don't know why I did it like that. Yeah. Hello again, boys.
Yeah, that you did unnecessarily sexualize.
Yeah, I made her Jessica Rabbit.
Yeah.
Just wanted to give a quick update on the COVID is a hoax situation at my office. At 10 a.m. this morning, the company vice president and HR director, HR stands for
a human resource director,
called everyone into the conference room to tell us to pack up everything and leave immediately.
Hold on, real quick. Do we have an HR director for Worst Hour Nation?
That's one of Hakeem's umbrella jobs.
It's one of his. Okay, we did get we should actually advertise Hakeem's services on the podcast.
He's a catch-all.
He's sort of a catch-all. So Hakeem does. He's our podcast attorney. Mm-hmm. He's our podcast consultant. Mm-hmm. He does HR as well, mm-hmm. and he also says he will tint the windows for $80 additionally for any of our cars, and he offers a deal outside to anybody listening. So
yeah, and he made his fortune in spinning rims. That's where he made all his money.
He never promised they would. He never said they would continuously spin at the same time. If you'll check the contract,
he's like, look at them, they're spinning. Those are spinning.
It's just the wheels are moving regularly.
Yeah.
He's like, I never said they would spin at a different time than the wheel. Check the record.
Okay, so yeah.
After I got home,
I received a memo that was sent company-wide. There was a lot of fluff in there, but these are some direct quotes pulled from the memo, word for fucking word.
Don't need, just FYI for future people writing in to our sperm bag. I don't need the profanity. Just give me,
hey, keep it clean.
Just give it to me the way my mother would give it to me, you know?
Okay, this is a quote from the email. An individual working in the office tested positive for COVID-19. We are unable to confirm how or when the infection was contracted. Let us all be mindful and respectful of one another. We should not be discussing who may be... Did you write this?
Yeah.
We should not be discussing who may be ill, why, or when.
Throwing up quotes around all those W's.
Let's unite as a company and allow those affected to focus on healing. We're all working from home for 2 weeks, and then according to them, we're all good and safe to return. Sorry if I'm rambling angrily and incoherently. I think we can go down this.
You know, every person I know who lost their job, they all went and worked home for 2 weeks. Yep. It was all like, go home and work for 2 weeks. We'll be back to work probably.
And then, axe fell. Yeah. She said, sorry if I'm rambling angrily and incoherently. I started drinking as soon as I got home in an attempt to calm down while also plotting on how to get revenge. Now let's give her some revenge ideas.
Well, first and foremost, we want to say we appreciate the fact that you're coping with this in a healthy way. We recommend alcohol specifically for when you are feeling angry or vengeful.
It's a perfect cocktail, let me tell you.
Nothing calms you down when you're thirsty for revenge quite like booze. So,
but like, can you go back up? This is such Ramsey Badawi language where like,
you got to be careful with your language. It's one of my, I'm constantly talking to Bryan. Legal implications, words, things mean things. I said we don't live in we live in a country with laws. They're dictated by words.
This is so great because they don't believe in COVID, and then COVID happened, and they immediately want to take the blame off the people who had it, and so they're just saying we should not be discussing who may be ill, why, or when. That is such Ramsey Badawi. I didn't do nothing language.
You got to make sure that you protect. You got to make sure that you're clear and vague at the same time. By the way, I love that's what being a good lawyer is. Lawyers are like, how can I be exact while not saying anything at all?
Right.
What's the possibility? That's a perfect way to do it. This is because her coworker refused to wear a mask. Is that correct?
The whole office was deniers of COVID.
Okay.
She basically works in a COVID is a hoax facility.
And they're the people
she
pumping
works
it out.
at the White House.
She works, yeah. Dude,
let's just go ahead and get it out.
That is, first and foremost, we really are apologetic. It sucks that you lost, the opportunity to work from the office, because one of the things that we think is the best part about work is going into the office, right, guys?
The commute
rules.
I love the time to think.
Talking to people seeing people you don't want to see.
Yeah.
Being scared all the time.
Mm-hmm. Especially when there's disease flying out of their mouths.
I used to be all about being a remote everybody should work remotely. But then Bryan and I became employers, and then immediately we're like, oh shit.
Yeah, that's why I'm doing certain things in the studio, because I love the office space so much.
I refuse to leave, and that's a good point. I'm going to start bringing my girlfriend to Bangor here.
We're doing what Letterman's doing, but we're doing it with our girlfriends.
With our respective.
Yeah, we're not cheating.
We're doing it monogamously.
We have a bed in the green room, but I only fuck my wife in it.
Yeah.
That's it.
In what way would you get revenge in this particular instance? Now, presumably, you're going to have to do a lot of work here, Bryan Vokey. Pretend you had a job.
Okay.
Pretend
you turn back the clock 10 years.
Okay. Got the job. Pretend you you liked it.
Oh.
Imagine that idea. Bryan Vokey, because this is the thing. We know this listener. She actually has a cool job. Bryan, this is something that's foreign to Bryan. A job that you would want to have.
Mm-hmm. No such thing.
No, but I'm saying fucking play the gymnast, but pretend you could do it.
Okay, well, here's the thing.
He's already trying to get out of it. Okay, go ahead.
No, I got something.
Okay.
What I'm saying is, if you don't like the people you're working with, and you don't feel safe in the environment, isn't this a blessing that you get to work from home?
You know what?
What's the revenge you need? You should be working on how to get more COVID in the workplace so that you can avoid them for as long as possible.
I really, really hate to admit this, but Bryan, you're 100% right.
Thank you.
This is a hoax of an email.
Yeah, you got what you wanted.
He who shall not be named, we absolutely love you, but this is a hoax of an email. Spenny, off the screen.
Is there another one? Because I got one more.
Oh no, we do have another one. This is an important one too.
Let's do the short one and then get to that one. Because
Okay.
we got one tonight, just recently.
Throw it in.
I got it right here.
Okay, do it. Hold off on that one, Spenny. Go ahead.
It's from the Ghost of Wayne Knight.
Okay.
From Jurassic Park.
This is a Patreon name, by the way. Join the Patreon, patreon.com.
Yeah, all these questions are coming through our Patreon, by the way. If you want to be a part of this community of 23-year-olds with giant cans, please join patreon.com.
Yeah.
I recently rewatched Miller's Crossing, and after listening to your story about Andy and the monkey, I got to wondering, how effective do you think you would be pleading for your life?
I guess
any situation you're begging to live.
I'm a great salesman. I think I could do it. I think I could easily demonstrate the value proposition of keeping me alive. You know what I mean? The guy would have the gun to my head. He'd be like, give me one reason why I shouldn't kill you. And I'd be like, listen,
how about 5?
I can give you 4 reasons right off the top of my head without even thinking. If you really let me think about it for a minute, let me start with the most important one. First and foremost. Personal assistance. It's important to have one. I would like to be your personal assistant.
Ooh.
So that's where I will
think
start
about those mundane minutia that you have to get through every day. I can handle that for you.
All of the things which made you believe that life was so worthless that you would be willing to kill me here at this laundromat for this energy drink. I'm telling you right now, I'm willing to take that off your plate. You know what I mean? I'll go to the DMV for you. I'll do your laundry for you. I'll file your paperwork, the necessary paperwork that you have with the state. You know how
all that paperwork.
Everything you need. You want me to talk to your ex-wife for you? I'll talk to your ex-wife for you.
I'll talk to your current wife.
I'll talk to the current one. I'll literally be in the house, and everything's got to go through me. I'll run interference on every part of your life.
And then
I feel like that would sell. Would you not want that? I feel like I would take that deal.
I don't know if I'd want a guy personal assistant, personally.
Okay, fine. I'll get you a hot chick. I'll broker you the deal. I'll make it happen. You can have my mother.
I would be terrible at pleading for my life because I'm not like that stoked on being alive.
Yeah.
So I would just be like, I don't really have a case for you. I barely keep it myself alive.
Yeah, you're a sucker. You'd be gone immediately. I'd immediately be like, here's the thing. I got a couple of Tesla stocks, and let me talk to you a little bit about how valuable these are going to be someday. And then by the end,
I won't tell you until you put that gun down.
You got to put the gun down, and I'm telling you right now, you and me, we're going to 10x this. We're going straight to the moon. You and me, buddy.
To Mars.
To Mars. And I'll explain to you exactly what that means once you put the gun down.
Why isn't he moving to the moon?
You're talking about Elon Musk?
Yeah, why does it go so far?
I think because, his wife, she's probably like,
Moon ain't far enough.
I could go to the moon, but the old ball and chain will probably be there in a week.
Grimes.
Yeah.
He's trying to escape Grimes.
Your old ball and chain is
Grimes.
Is Grimes. You got to give it to him. He fucking rules, dude.
I just realized that the moon is there.
Yeah.
And he's skipping that and going to Mars.
I'm sure Elon Musk has a reason to go to Mars. We'll look into it.
He's probably just like, because it's red.
Let's do his impression of Elon Musk kills me every single time. Let's do this last question here. Bryan, read this last question because we owe it to this gentleman.
This is a banger right here. This is going to be a real meat of the episode.
We absolutely appreciate you sending this email, Grant. worsthouroftheweek@gmail.com. If you got anything like this in the future, feel free to send it our way.
I want to apologize ahead of time for my poor pronunciation of a lot of these words.
Yeah, let's do this.
Grant writes in, don't know if you guys have been following this story, but Kyrgyzstan is kind of a shit show right now. Kyrgyzstan right now is a shit show.
Dude, I'm telling you, in the 90s,
it was a beacon of stability.
we all just sort of hung out. Dude, there was Burning Man was there for a little while.
Yeah.
No, I meant they were actually burning a man. In Kyrgyzstan. I'm sorry, I may have misspoken.
After a very suspect election in Kyrgyzstan, that's crazy. A bunch of people stormed the parliament in Bishkek, the capital.
What are they suspecting the election of being? Super legit?
Wait, how did the guy I vote for win? By the way, how bad do you want to storm a parliament, dude?
Oh, dude, storming a parliament would be so
That's the only
awesome.
way you could get me in a crowd right now.
First and foremost, whenever I see a parliament, I've never wanted to do anything but storm it.
I know, I'd love to storm a parliament.
I go, this place sucks. Look at this. How's any government effective out of this fucking lame building?
They freed a bunch of political prisoners and forced the president, Yeyenbekov, into hiding.
Yeah, that's a presidential name. He ain't Bekov.
You don't have to click on that. We'll keep going on that. Apparently, in the recent election, he was bussing in loads of people to polling stations and paying them the equivalent of $25 to vote for him. Now, that I would vote for Trump for $25.
I'd vote for, remember D's nuts? Every election, that's the one tragedy that this election has really yielded is every election is usually such a joke.
You got the guy with the boot on his head.
Yeah, D's nuts is always, there's always like a
porn star usually.
We could do a full supercut of newscasters reacting to D's nuts.
Yeah. You know what we should do a deep dive in is the entire ballot of the year Arnold Schwarzenegger won the gubernatorial.
Oh, was that a crazy year? I forgot what that was.
There was like 100 candidates on there.
They're probably all wacky.
There's some wig nuts. Yeah, we'll go deep into that.
We'll dump into that one.
That sounds fun. Okay, so he was paying people 25 bones to vote for him. Literally, yeah. Their money is bones. There's videos online of people taking pictures of their ballots to sell to the president's men as proof of their vote.
Yeah, this video, by the way, we'll post the links in the show notes. We were watching it earlier today. And it's literally just people walking around openly in front of the city hall and just paying people money for their vote. I mean, it literally looks like the New York Stock Exchange, but for democracy. They're like, hey, $25, $25. You go, will you take 25? And they're
All right, I'll vote for Yankov then. One of the president's partisans and main financiers, Matramov, was revealed last year to be funneling $1 billion worth of bribes through his position as a customs official paid from a massive smuggling ring. Kyrgyzstan's GDP is only $8 billion. So 1/8 of the GDP was coming in through a smuggling ring.
Yeah. It's not good when the chief import in the country is smuggle. What is you guys? We mainly smuggle.
Yeah, we focus on smuggling. We do a little bit of kidnapping, a lot of ransom.
In defense of this guy, I would accept anything if it was funneled to me, to be completely honest.
I would love to be funneled.
Anything if you want to funnel it to me, I'll fucking take it. Cash, nacho cheese.
Yeah.
It could be just blood full of coronavirus, but if you're like, but we're going to put it in a funnel.
We're going to be funneling it to you. Or an ice luge.
Oh, I'd be like, dude, absolutely. Give me all that blood.
The main source for the expose was later gunned down in a gangland-style killing.
And now in that killing's defense, you can really never tell in Kyrgyzstan.
The president's main opposition is...
Spenny, I'm going to have you cut me out not pronouncing that name correctly.
The president's main opposition is a man who was recently released from prison for kidnapping the Kyrgyzstan equivalent of a governor in Akim.
Yeah.
During another political. By the way, that's also
Our podcast producer.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our podcast
He is
producer.
a governor in Kyrgyzstan. That's his main source
Yeah.
of dough.
Our podcast producer moonlights. He makes most of his money here.
But he also
Moonlight is the governor.
just to have a little, spendola.
Wham, as we call it.
Yeah.
Walking around money.
So in Akim, wait, let me read that again. The president's main opposition is a man who was recently released from prison for kidnapping the Kyrgyzstan equivalent of a governor in Akim during another political uprising in the past. So yeah, fun stuff. Here's a good article that sums up how it got to this point. So honestly, this is all news to me because I haven't actually been keeping up with Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah, Kyrgyzstan, I don't know. I didn't know much about it, so I kind of Googled it or looked it up really quickly before when I saw the question come in. Kyrgyzstan is one of the countries that is in the former Eastern Bloc. It is one of the stands that's kind of in that region, which is like former Mongolia.
Yeah, like Uzbekistan, Kazakhstan.
Where they're kind of, it's deep Asia. Uyghurs are ethnically closer to the Kyrgyzstanese. I don't know how to,
The Kazakhs are over there.
They're all closer related to one another than in like China. It's that region. Listen, wherever Genghis Khan rolled, I have some bad news for you. It's just going to be bad news forever.
There's going to be some mixing.
It's just the truth of the matter.
Yeah.
You know how they say like 1/8 of the population of the world is related to Genghis Khan. I gotta feel like if you have any part of you that's related to him genetically, you're probably buying elections. You're probably not the greatest guy on the planet. If you have any relation to Genghis.
We call that leadership DNA.
It's
you
just
have
a
some
certain
leadership
DNA.
DNA in you.
I have a feeling anybody with Trump's last name is gonna have a certain disposition forever. Same is true with Genghis Khan.
Yeah, so thanks for the email, Grant Moore. That was all very interesting.
It says in Kyrgyzstan. Sorry, and I'll just wrap it up with these couple facts here. It says 73.6% of them are Kyrgyz. That's their ethnic group. 14.7 are Uzbek. 5.5% are Russian, and then the rest are like Uyghurs or Tajiks or Turks. This is 90% Islam, 7% Christianity, and then 3% really brave.
3% prison.
3%. Could you imagine being in Kyrgyzstan and being like, by the way, we're not Muslim?
Yeah, I'm a Cabal Jew.
I would be
What do you call them?
whatever. I'm telling you, I'm bending to whatever the majority is.
Just say you're Muslim. I don't understand all this bravery.
I don't know what it's about, man.
It's pretty annoying.
I'm out immediately.
If I could just do what I want, I just have to wear a funny hat and say I'm Muslim.
Yeah, I'm out without a question.
Whatever.
I'll be Muslim, I'll be Jewish, I'll be Buddhist, I'll be
whatever you need.
do.
As long as I can just drink coffee and chill.
I'll be a Scientologist. I'll be,
I already am a Scientologist.
Hell, I'll even start believing in science.
Wow.
I will seriously.
That's a bit far.
I'll believe everything that idiot Fauci says. Write in your questions, worsthouroftheweek@gmail.com. Maybe we will feature your question on the next Sperm Bag.
The only thing I know about Uzbekistan is that Borat called them assholes.
Yeah, they are assholes. You want to take a quick couple-minute break and then we can get back to the rest of the show?
Yeah.
Welcome back to the show, folks. Worst hour of the week. We are back, banging hard as always.
Banging hard? What are you talking about?
Banging hard, man. You got to start coming up with slang. You got to start coming up with things. It
sounds like we're having sex.
You don't know nothing about broadcasting, dude. Banging hard at you.
Banging hard at you.
See, the problem right now is that we have everything in the studio set up perfectly. The one thing that we don't have set up is Spenny controlling the soundboard. Because if we could, Spenny would have brought in some Godsmack right now, and that would have made some sense, but it didn't quite make any sense, right in this instance.
Worst Hour, banging at you hard. Ramsey, I heard Worst Hour has a Patreon.
For the second half of the show today, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about some incredible news stories. Pretty heavy Muslim back end of the show. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
A lot of stories that involve, the world's fastest growing religion. But that's true. That was something that when I was a kid, they would always say to me. They would always say to me, world's fastest growing religion. We had like Trump-like branding on our.
And then you're like, where is it growing?
It's
They're like, well, don't worry about that.
But to be completely fair and honest, it's like fast growth isn't necessarily always a good thing. There are certain things in life where I'd go, hey, maybe it should grow as slow as possible.
Yeah, like a tumor.
Worst hour of the week is not making that comparison. That's
No, I'm saying of things that we don't want to grow fast.
Let me tell you right now.
I wasn't comparing the two.
Just to be crystal clear on everything, the worst hour takes the same position on everything that CNN does. Okay, we are taking an official position, and that position is towing the line here at the worst hour of the week. Before we get into those stories, though, I am compelled to remind people that we do have a Patreon. Patreon.com/WHotW. I want to talk to you guys today about a fantastic opportunity I have available for you, the listener, tonight. We have a special deal. For just $5 a month, you can actually join our exclusive Worst Hour Patreon. And some of you are thinking, $5, isn't that the deal that's available every week? Yeah, and every fucking week it's a deal.
Yeah. It's a what do they call that? Endless sale?
It's an endless sale. It's an evergreen deal. Any fucking time, this is like an iPhone, people. Anytime you can get a fucking computer into your pocket for $99, whether there's a deal or no deal, it's a fucking deal. And that's what the worst hour of the nation. Worst hour of the week. Just Rockstar, fire me up, dude.
Worst hour of a nation.
Look, ladies and gentlemen, everybody not on the binary, gender scale. What I'm offering you here tonight is for $5. Actually, you know what? For $5 a month, if you're non-binary, we'll actually accept you.
Yeah, for $5 a month.
Yeah, we will offer something at.
We could be bought
at this podcast. We will offer something that everybody doesn't have access to. For $5 a month, white, black, Asian, gay, straight, whatever you are, we will accept you for one stipulation, which is, do you have $5?
That's it.
We will adopt the Little Caesar business model.
We are open. Yeah, we are hot and ready. We are a hot and ready podcast.
If you have $5 to spare to the Worst Hour of the Week Patreon, we have a whole amount of love, a whole heart's worth of love and acceptance to offer to you. The proposition that we have today is pretty simple, right? $5 a week or $5 a month is all we're asking for. You could get a Patreon to Tim Dillon, or perhaps you could go to Come Town for $5 a month, I suppose. But here's the thing about that is you'll be buying into a Patreon where you absolutely have no power. You're just one of many.
Exactly. You're a ground floor investor on this one.
With Patreon, with the Worst Hour of the Week, we're offering you something that you just don't get access to on an everyday basis. We're offering you access to the Worst Hour of the Week. You want us to have a take? You want us to report on a story? Hey, we're a Patreon. We'll listen.
I mean, how many Epstein jokes do you need? Come to us for fresher takes.
Come to us. We'll talk about the issues you want to hear about. You want us to kill somebody? There are a couple of Patreons we would consider killing somebody for.
Yeah, there's one in Oklahoma.
There's at least one Patreon out there. We would consider it. I'm not saying we'd do it, but we'd consider it.
I would consider it. I mean, yeah, he pays us handsomely.
All the other podcasts out there, they're telling you, where everyone's always complaining these days that the media is bought and paid for by corporations. All the other podcasts,
which there's no proof of, by the way.
There's absolutely, and if there is proof, well, here's what we're offering to you here at the Worst Hour Nation. Rather than telling you that we can fix the system, we're offering you a unique opportunity to join the system. You know what I'm saying?
Take it down from the inside.
Take it down from the inside for just $5 a month. You can buy a piece of the media. It's a very entry-level position in the media.
I mean, it's like being a shareholder for the Packers.
It's absolutely like being a shareholder for the Packers.
It feels very powerful, and you have a say.
Here's a 1-minute clip from a most recent episode of Patreon. It's cutting off the hand, man. I mean, that seems a bit much, right? I mean, honestly,
it's a little heavy.
Even flogging, they still do a lot of flogging in Saudi Arabia. Let's tie this guy to a pole and let's whip him with a stick.
And some people commit crimes just to get flogged.
Yeah.
What crime? Because you got to know which one to do. Because some things might be killable.
I think blasphemy there's a famous guy who actually has my last name. His name is Raif Badawi, and he had a blog that was I think blasphemous, and I believe he's currently in prison and he's taking some floggings every week.
Right.
That's part of the punishment because they dole it out. Because they go, all right. Obviously, they go, we have sentenced you to 422,000 lashings, but we're not crazy. You're not going to get them in one day.
No, that would be excessive.
That's insane.
We're not giving carpal tunnel to we only have 4 whippers right now.
Yeah.
They're all wearing those computer wristbands.
You think the union is pretty good over there? The whipping union?
Yeah. This is a mandatory union break right here.
Union says if you've been flogging for over 3.5 hours, and you are entitled to at least a 15-minute break, and then you get another lunch at the next 3.5 hours.
They really clean up on Ramadan because they get time and a half for the entire month. When they flog during Ramadan on that empty stomach,
there's no lunch.
Time and a half. Yeah, there's no lunch break, but they still get the break.
They still get the break for you as per union rules.
It's called a water break. They can have the water.
Hey, by the way, if you're poor and you want to support the show, go to the show notes. If you're too poor to support the show. Like, I assume if you're listening to the show and you can't afford $5 a month, you're too poor to support us on Patreon, and it's totally fine. That's absolutely... Brian, that's called negging. It's absolutely fine. We are going to encourage you to possibly take control of your own life and go to the show notes and check out the link to our Weeble referral link, which is in our show notes.
Just so you know, this is 100% true.
This is 100% true. If you invest $100 using the Weeble link in our show notes today, you will get 2 free stocks, and we'll get 2 free stocks.
If they invest $100?
If they invest $100, they'll get 2 free stocks, and we'll get 2 free stocks. And your stocks that will be awarded will be valued somewhere between $8 and $1,600. That's what you can possibly get here. So at minimum, we're looking at a 16% growth in your investment right away.
I don't mean to cut down the pitch, but if they're too poor to afford $5 a month, what makes you think they could throw $100 down?
Well, that $100 would be their savings account, I assume. So put it into, I say, if you have $100 and it's your savings account, all right, fucking throw it all into the stock market. You have no other hope. You have no other hope but gambling on this one, folks.
And what's the guaranteed percentage increase return?
So you're guaranteed to get 2 stocks back, right? The minimum value of those stocks is $8. So if you put 100 in, you're getting $16 back. That's 16% growth on your money. Where are you going to get an investment return like that? Look, here's the thing. Here's what I'm saying. If you want to invest and you want to join the stock market and you want to be players like Bryan and I, use the Weeble link in our show notes. And if you don't want to make at least $16, that's between you and your fucking maker. I don't know what to tell you at this point.
Yeah.
I've offered you everything.
Do you want a 16% increase in your savings account?
I've given you all the tools required to become a successful, wealthy American. You're not taking them. That's your own fucking fault.
And then you take that 116, you reinvest it. Now you've got 132.
In the stock market, it's rolling. It's rolling. The stock market crashes. You take out a gun. You blow off your head. Who gives a shit? Life's not worth living unless you're rich in the stock market.
That's the worst hour stance.
All right. Let's move into these news stories here. Brian, did you see this? Look, I don't care that much about this. It's not really a local story here. Did you see that there was a Colorado wildfire occurring here? It's blazing. Not a ton to say about this. Here's my story. Here's my whole reason I wanted to bring this up today was how great is it that there's a bunch of assholes that left Los Angeles to live in Colorado. Now Colorado's just on fire.
More from the Bay.
Fuck you.
You Californianize Colorado, you bring those fires with you.
If you are a native Coloradoan, Coloradoite?
Coloradoer?
Coloradoidian?
Colorado?
If you're a Coloradian, if you're a Colorado shit, you are, our hearts go out to you. We hope you're not affected by the fires. But if you moved from California and these wildfires are affecting you, fuck you. That's what you get for bailing on us.
Bitch. That's what you get for lowering our rent, opening up our freeways, and bailing on us and making it easier to park at the beach. Fuck you.
Now to the main story here. This beheading in France. This is...
Hey, folks, you heard about this beheading? That's a good time to bring back your Jay Leno.
Have you
heard about this beheading in France?
I could do Jay Leno. Have you heard about this beheading in France?
This teacher, he was messing around. He was drawing Muhammad. Yeah, he was basically asking for it.
Brian and I really are from 2007. This is a 2007 celebrity impression. There has been 32 years, just K-pop celebrities, and Brian and I are like, we just nailed Jay Leno.
I'm working on my walk-in.
Watch out, everybody. Barack Obama is coming next.
I just nailed my Bush.
Dude. A suspect has been shot dead by police after the beheading of a history teacher near Paris. So I guess an 18-year-old Chechen refugee beheaded his teacher who was showing pictures of the Prophet Muhammad after the teacher was.
What does that mean? Showing pictures?
I guess they were showing the caricatures from the Charlie Hebdo.
Oh, it was
incident.
the Hebdo characters. Caricatures.
They were showing those, and that student came back. He beheaded the teacher. And I guess they ended up discovering that it was the teacher they ended up discovering it was the kid because he had posted a picture of the beheading on his Twitter. That's where they found it. Yeah, it's a pretty brutal story.
He tweeted out the beheading?
This is through and through a brutal story. He tweeted out a picture of the beheading. Look, at the worst hour of the week, we absolutely support the philosophy of free speech, but we also we get it, right? We get it. Free speech is free speech. We're on. It's important, but also here's a value we have even harder is our keeping our heads attached to our neck. So,
listen, democracy is a government of compromises.
But at the same, that's where we're at on this one. We get it. We get it.
We're not drawing any lines here. We understand every single
are
position.
So far apart from each other. Those lines that we're drawn, they don't look anything like you know who. But perhaps now is a great time to just go ahead and let's all just absorb this lesson. Let's probably not draw him.
If you want to keep your head on your neck,
yeah,
just it's a very simple rule.
It's pretty simple. I like that this is what because Chechenian, that's a white Muslim guy. This is like the school shooter of France, I suppose. Yeah. I will say this. This story was horrible. Nothing but just brutal. But if I could look at this story and assemble some feeling in it, I go, you know what? At least, I'll tell you what, at least we're not dealing with that.
Right.
Do you
think when he was a history teacher, when he was majoring in history, he knew he was signing up for an ancient murder?
Yeah. A brutal. I'm very glad. Perhaps if this is a good enough reason, if any, to just kind of homeschool everybody moving forward. Just to remove. If you really want to talk about what Zoom schooling is good for, it's like this will never happen if we all Zoom school. So, how badly do you want to stop this kind of shit from happening?
Would you put a background? Would you do an undisclosed location if you were zooming into high school?
I would use use a VPN network to hide where I was at, and I would zoom in to learn from schools in Paris or whatever.
Right.
This was a brutal one, yeah. Let's see what else is that. So the guy's dead. Yeah.
So the tweet. He tweeted a photo of the decapitated head, and then he wrote the message, "I have executed one of the dogs from hell who dared to put Muhammad down."
Yeah. So,
passionate feller.
It's passion, man.
He's feeling a lot. I wish I could care like a quarter of that about literally anything.
Like, I'll tell you what, I wish I could care like that about like my finances and like career. If I could just get like 1/3 of that in me.
I mean, what if this guy could just redirect his focus and...
What if I could... I wish I felt the way that guy felt about Islam. I wish I felt like that about me. Like, you know what I mean? I wish I was like, you don't ever draw a caricature of Ramsey Badawi. I wish I pointed at people and said, you never. When you talk about Ramsey Badawi, I call myself in third person. When you talk about Ramsey Badawi, you represent me accurately.
Hey, when you talk about me, you put that friggin' pencil down, bro.
Yeah, man. I wish I had that feeling. So ultimately, I would like to say that if we could just push anything out on this news story, let's just stay away from that one, folks. We got plenty of other religions to make fun of.
I didn't know that Chechnya would have refugees, though. Aren't they kind of chill? They're like a part of Russia, right? What are they?
I think they're trying to they're trying to separate from Russia, and Chechnya has always been a separatist movement from within Russia. And I imagine that, I imagine the media doesn't report on it, but probably they're not treated super well by the Russian, ruling party.
I'm sure they're not treated well, but I'm going to go out on a limb and just say that they're using the word refugee for a very specific reason, and that I think this person might just be an immigrant.
Possibly they want to push a certain story narrative.
Yes.
Yeah, they want to make sure everybody's crystal clear about what's going on.
And we love narratives.
Not that we love.
We're not judging. We're taking all the wrong neutrality.
All right.
We're not judging him for whipping up anti-refugee fervor. That's his job.
I'm eager to go to this next story. It's a fun Muslim story. Like I said, we're on a theme tonight here. This is there's a German citizen was looking to...
he was looking to become a German citizen.
He was looking to become a German citizen. A potential German citizen. He's a Muslim man, a Muslim doctor from Lebanon, was looking to become a naturalized citizen of Germany, and he did not receive his citizenship because he refused to shake hands with the female official who would give him his naturalization.
And I get fired from touching every woman I see.
Don't you?
I can't hold on to a job.
Don't you think? Isn't that the kind of the beautiful part of this story? When you read this story, I think we were on the same page.
Yeah. It's like I'm constantly in trouble for touching people everywhere I go. That's why Worst Hour only has men. It's because of me.
It's one of the beautiful parts about this story in juxtaposition to the other one, because this is also a Muslim extremist. Mm-hmm. I kind of like where he's at, though. The other guy was like, I love Islam so much, I'm going to cut your head off. This guy's like, I love Islam so much, I'm keeping my hands to myself.
The doctor said that the doctor was signaling that he saw her as posing the threat of sexual seduction.
Yeah. This is
with a handshake.
This is a very common thing. I grew up with this in my life. My dad won't shake a woman's hand that he doesn't know for religious reasons. He's one of these people.
Really?
I grew up with this. I totally understand this whole thing.
It's just horny as hell.
He's
just going to pull the hand onto his cock.
I'll tell you what. Growing up, I always thought, what a weird kind of cultural thing. Now, 2020, after seeing what Hollywood has become, I go, wouldn't kill you guys to find Allah in your lives.
Is he only going to treat male patients?
I don't know. Probably. He said, you know what's funny is it says here that so the judge basically said to him, to make a long story short, if you're unwilling to adopt Germans' cultural norms, such as shaking hands with the women, you will not be a citizen of Germany. So he has denied his citizenship. Now the person, this Muslim doctor, tried to argue his case by saying, I won't shake men's hands either. And that to me...
That's a good case. That's open and shut.
It could be, but then I think that poses a problem with Allah, because Allah's like, wait, why don't you want to shake men's hands? He's like, wow.
Is that are you feeling
You're not feeling any seduction there.
Is it moving?
Could be a problem in both hands, so he's lucky that this happened, to be completely honest with you.
Oh, he's a bisexual Lebanese doctor.
He's worried about seduction either direction. So, look, either way, this guy looks like he's in trouble.
Liberal.
Could be the case. He wants to live in Germany for a reason, I'm assuming.
Dude, yeah, but I mean, I guess was only going to treat dudes.
In the Me Too era, I'm saying, isn't this kind of nice? That this doctor refuses to touch anybody. I guarantee you.
In the grab him by the pussy era?
Women are listening.
You won't even grab her by the hand.
American women are listening to this story and they're like, okay, hold on.
He sounds like a nice guy.
Maybe Islam ain't that bad. I got to play the thing, but this guy won't touch me. That's kind of cool. All right.
Your dad won't shake a woman's hand.
Man. He won't shake. He won't, because if he shakes a woman's hand, he has to
go masturbate.
You can't touch. In Islam, the only woman you're allowed to touch is, I believe,
the one you own.
No, actually, not true. If you touch your wife, I believe she makes it so you have to. You're not clean for prayer. So it's a religion based on logic and science. So if the both of you have an issue with that, then you can take that up with Fauci or whoever the hell you
worship,
whatever questions you have,
science prophets you guys pray to.
If you guys are not sure exactly why these rules exist, it's probably because you don't understand science that well. And so I'll tell you what, dude, it's getting hot in here. We've been recording the show for quite some time here. Let's wrap it up on this last story, a feel-good story. It's a story about the guy who defended himself with the tusk. I love this story.
Oh yeah, the narwhal tusk.
It's the narwhal tusk. It is I think it's man. It's there we go, right there. Man who used. There we go. So this is our feel-good story. I feel like if we're going to talk about this, we're going to talk about such heavy, intense topics.
It's also tangentially another Islam story.
It's tangentially another Islam story. In England here, we're trying to talk kind of an international flavor to this particular episode. There was a murderer who was actually granted his pardon for defending, I guess, did he defend a group of people? He confronted a knife-wielding man.
He was a part of a group who were subduing one terrorist.
One terrorist who had stabbed 2 people to death in London last year. And I guess this man beat this attacker with a tusk of a narwhal. Is that correct?
he got if you ever seen a narwhal, it's a whale that looks like a unicorn. It has it never stops growing. It's actually a tooth.
Narwhal. First and foremost, let me tell you right now, I'm not sure if that's a real fact or if that goes into our book of tow truck driver facts. Is that really true?
That's a real fact. You can,
It's a tooth?
It's a tooth, and they use it to bust ice.
Yeah.
so that they can get up and get air because they're mammals.
Narwhals. Something about narwhals and drug users, they go together well. I'm not sure what it is, but the imagery, it's like they love that fucking whale with a horn.
Are you saying something about me right now?
I'm saying that that's
I'm just spewing out all these narwhal facts.
that's
Call me a
absolutely
druggie.
why you know these facts. It's because you and some
Narwhal? That's not even a tusk. It's actually a tooth.
you and some idiots did mushrooms in a cabin somewhere one time, and then you were like, let's draw a narwhal. Actually, let me look up what it looks like. And then you looked it up and you read all these stupid facts about it.
The juiciest thing about this story is that this guy was already in jail for murder.
Oh, was
and
he in jail
and
already
he
for
was
murder?
out on a day pass.
Oh, I didn't finish the story.
Yeah, so he was in jail for murder and he was out on a day pass, and then a terrorist attack happened and he saved the day. And so the Queen of England chopped off the back end of his sentence, and now he's available for parole.
I like the idea that he's like, well, you killed one guy, but you prevented the death of four. So ultimately, we're going to treat you like you are a mother of three. You're good to go. You're free
He's
on
got
this
a buck
one.
in one hand and 4 quarters in the other one.
Well,
you know
there you
what I'm
go.
saying?
You know what's funny is I didn't even realize he was a suspect for murder. So this is really a happy ending. Ultimately.
Yeah. He was already in jail. He believes. So what happened was he was in 2005. He was one of 2 people jailed for the murder of a firefighter named Barry Jackson outside a pub. The BBC reports that the court was told Gallant attacked Jackson because he wrongly believed the man had attacked his girlfriend. So he was in jail.
So that's kind of a, that's a pretty cool reason to kill somebody.
So he grabbed the weapon off the wall of a historic fishmonger's hall.
Dude, this guy, Spenny G, can you pull up a picture of Stephen Gallant? I got to see if this guy's hot or not, because think about this guy. 42 years old. He killed a firefighter, right?
Yep.
Because he thought that the firefighter attacked his girlfriend. Hot move.
Yep. Then killed a terrorist.
Then ended up killing
with
a
whale
terrorist.
tooth.
Stephen Gallant. I guess you're going to have to Google Stephen Gallant Britain to figure out whether this guy, because we need to discover whether or not this guy's hot, because if he's single, every woman who listens to this podcast is going to be 1,000% down for this guy.
By the way, the attack was on the London Bridge.
Yeah. So this guy, all right, he does kind of, he does sort of look like he could be, a bridge terror attack himself, if you don't catch my drift. All right.
The guy he killed is
he did kill a guy that is the most terroristy looking guy I've ever seen in my entire life. I come from a family of Middle Eastern people, and let me tell you right now, this guy's uncomfortably Middle Eastern looking. So,
when you saw the headshots of the Columbine shooters, and you were like, "Oh, yeah, no shit."
What if
that's this guy is that for terrorists?
What if this guy just killed this terrorist on the bridge with the with the horn, and then he didn't even know that the guy was a terrorist?
He just was pissed.
Like they're like, "You just killed that terrorist." He's like, "I did. I did that on purpose."
He starts an applause for himself.
Well, there you go. Look, and a murderer is out free in the streets of London.
Thanks to the Queen.
This has been a great show. Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at Worst Hour Pod. You can write us. Maybe we'll read your letter at the next edition of the Sperm Bag at worsthouroftheweek@gmail.com. Follow my co-host here, Bryan J. Vokey on Twitter and Mr. Bryan Vokey on Instagram. You can follow Spenny G at Spenny G on Instagram, at Spencer Gaspar on Twitter. Follow me at Ramsbad across all social media platforms. You can also, if you have not done so already, can you please give the show 5 stars in iTunes? It tremendously helps us out.
It helps us a lot.
Join our Patreon, patreon.com/WHW. And also, listen, man, if you got $100 parked in cash, click that Webull link. You're going to get $16
At the worst.
I mean,
at the minimal,
you're going to make $16. That is more than the minimum wage some places, and you'll have made it in 1 second. And that is how the rich...
Multiply that by 60, and how much is that per minute? Multiply that by 60, and now you're making like $1,000 an hour.
You're making so much money, it's unbelievable. And look, I'm not going to lie to you. There's a chance you'll get a stock that's worth $1,600. So maybe you'll become incredibly rich. But worst case scenario, $16. Click the link in our show notes. Brian's back. We're back. Stand-up shows are coming back, so be sure to be on the lookout for those.
I post all my dates on Instagram.
Everything is on Instagram. You guys have been a fantastic crowd here. Fantastic crowd. What am I performing to actual people?
Look at you. That's how professional you are.
That's how professional I am. You guys have been a fantastic group of people listening individually. Sadly, somewhere. Always a pleasure broadcasting for you. On behalf of me, Bryan, Spenny, and everybody here at the Worst Hour Nation, peace be on to the prophet.
Long live Steve Gallant.
Don't draw him, though.
Coming in hard with the depravity you see. This is the worst hour of the week. Reaching new lows with Bryan and Ramsey. This is the worst hour of the week. The worst hour of the week.
Thank you for listening to the Worst Hour of the Week with Bryan Vokey and Ramsey Badawi. Peace be unto the prophet.